Welcome back, everyone. I just fueled up the Cabelco, and what I'm going to do today is, if you remember me talking about it, this is Goose Island here, Goose Mountain. All this, what I dug up, boy, it's like a year and a half ago. It feels like forever. But I dug that up, and now I need to use it, and I can move it with the teaspoon or the dump truck. I call it the teaspoon. But I can't really drive in here. It would make it too difficult. Right here, everything's fine. But you'll see when I get over here, even here, you'll see this start to squish down. I don't know how well this is coming out, but I had a road cut in through here so I could drive around, and my intention was not to move it again. But it hasn't rained in I don't know if you can see that. Probably won't come out very well. There's my footprints where I walked in before, but if you watch my foot. You see that sink down. And the dump truck will definitely sink down. If you watch in here, look, I mean, you see that footprint. And let me just do a heel. Well, that's not a good one. Right there. So there's no way I could drive the dump truck, because once you start squishing it up, going over it, it's not going to hold up. So there's no way that I could drive the dump truck in here and then bring the material down where I need it. Give you a look here. You can go back. There's old videos of last year when I dug. I mean, it was way out there. It was out just about to there, actually, where those weeds are sticking up. So I've got all this material here, and most of it does need to go down there. So, two choices. Well, there's multiple choices. I could buy all kinds of things, but what I'm not going to do is do that, because then afterwards I won't need it. So I can use the dump truck to bring it down, but I can't get in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start over here, and I'm just going to start throwing this all back this way. And I'm going to move this whole pile, and I'm going to take, as I talked about, I'm going to take the top of Goose Mountain off, and I'm going to get it as far that way as I can, so then I can just load the dump truck from the road that's already established, because nowhere in here now, I mean, maybe in the middle of winter I could do it, but it does get squishy at some point. This is one of the places I've talked about before. I know where I can drive. Well, I know where I can't drive, and in here is one of them. It doesn't matter almost if it's dry, but I don't know how it looks on camera, but there's a lot of material here. So this should be enough to get me to right there. And then what I'll do, any more that I need for here, I can just dig up the rest of Goose Island. And I will need some more to go up that way, but that's not the end of the world if I didn't have enough to go that way, because it's already pretty high. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to bring the machine up here and just start moving everything back that way. Right here, what I'm doing is the pile had washed down a little bit. You know, it's been here for, I don't know, well, not a year and a half, almost, and a little bit eroded. So I'm just trying to level it out so when I get up on the piles here, I'll be sitting flat, so I won't be rocking all over the place. So that's just what I'm doing here. In here, you'll notice, or some people would notice, I'm going up backwards. I'm going to be digging towards the, towards my left side, so, and working towards the camera. So that's why I'm going up backwards so that I'll be digging over the front. Sorry for the voiceover here. It's hard when I record 8 hours worth of material. It's hard for me to, I don't talk the whole time, and it's hard for me to find the places where I do talk and talk about what I'm doing. So it's kind of easier to do it this way. And Wendy always says to me, "Oh, you need to talk more." And so this is about the only way that I can do it. But what I really have to do here, why you see me tamping it down, and you're going to see it later on in the whole rest of this video, is the material that's here is mostly it's called gumbo, and it's like a goopy, sandy clay mix mess that it never really dries out. I mean, it eventually will dry out when it's laid out, but being in the pile here, um, and if I don't pack it down, at least initially, I'm gonna be fighting it the whole time, which you're gonna see later on in this video that I am gonna be fighting it the whole time pretty much until I get towards the end. But um, so that's why I'm not just driving over it. I've got to tamp it down a little bit just to make it easier. But you will see later on what I'm talking about, how hard it is to deal with. Place you can see I'm digging down as far as I could go. It'll end up being about 10 feet deep. I'm going to do that all the way back down, get as much material as I can out of there. So that's why you're seeing the pile growing. It's a lot. I'm not just moving back the piles that were there, but they'll keep growing as I go back. So I figured I'd mention this here because the depth perception on the camera, for some reason, it never picks it up. So I figured if I didn't point it out, you might not be able to tell. Well, here's a quick shot from across the lake. Right, you can tell right there is where I got stuck that time. So there's the finger to give you a little idea. David's house is right behind me. So today is Thursday, and this is my customary every Thursday at 2:23 when David passed. I have a beer with David at his memorial site, so I came around. Here come the nanny police. Oh my God, you had a beer and you're going to get back on the machine. Yes, I did. But I just thought I'd get a shot from across. I'm almost as high as Goose Mountain. This one's from my cousin when she said, "Are you on your little machine?" Well, I'm pretty sure that shows it's not a little machine. So when she sees it, she'll laugh because I always break them on her about that. But there we go. So I'm going to head back around. We're supposed to get rain tomorrow. So you can tell I dug quite a bit. Where's my finger? Right there is where I started. So I've dug that up, and when I get up there, I'm going to show you. You know, I'm digging up a lot of muck, and you know, it's this sand. It's called gumbo, and it's just a mucky. It almost never dries out, and there's a lot of it. And you'll see it looks okay from this side with the tracks, but when I get up there, I'll show you closer, and you'll see how I'm dug down in. And you might have seen from some of the video where I've had to go backwards, fill in the ruts, go back forward again to dig up the rest of what I'm doing. So, you know, I'm trying to dig as much as I can. I'm trying to dig it. Where's my finger? This new camera, where is it? Right there. So right there, you know, you'll see it's a pretty big hole. So my intention is today, before it rains, is I want to get at least to where the rear of the tracks are, where the drive motors are. I'd like to get all that dug up and pushed back, and under normal circumstances I'd leave the machine up there, but I don't. Here you never know how long it's going to rain, so I want to get it down and not be up there, just in case we get a prolonged period of rain. I don't need to ruts and have it fall over into the lake. That would not be a good thing. So I'm going to get back around and get to work. So here's a look from the other side, so you can see I started over here, and you know, in about 2 hours I got about that far. And if you look, you'll see it's pretty much as high as Goose Mountain, which is fairly high. But I'll walk up there, run up there, whatever. But I want to show you over here what I'm talking about again with the muck. And again, you can't really tell because I can't hold the camera, but if you look at my footprint, you see how far it's down. And that's just me. What do I weigh? 165 pounds. But there's Goose Mountain. So what I want to do is I want to take the top of that off. And what I want to do is move all this dirt over this way. And then I want to run it out to the road, in the north road, that way, so I can load it up with the dump truck. And then hopefully I can get over there where the floats are based on it. So let me get back up here. Oh boy. There we go. But you'll see the muck, what I'm talking about, because I'm digging up this gumbo. And I have to use some of it. You know, here's some dry stuff. This is some good clay. It's dry, but if you look right there, you'll see how I'm sunk down. So what I have to do on this is I have to, let me zoom back out, drive up this way, fill the ruts back in, go back over them again. And the trouble is, if you put muck in a rut, it just becomes, it's still muck. So, but you can see here, I mean, this machine's pretty high off the ground, and you know, I'm buried right up to the frame. It's not like I'm going to get stuck, but I don't want to I can't keep going down. See, on this side we're good. That side not so much. But if you look at my feet, you'll see what I'm talking about. You see this? That's gumbo. You see? So that's what we have to deal with here. Now this is good stuff. So once I get over to here, and because it's going to rain, I'm not going to stay up here. I'm not leaving the machine up here. So what I'll do is I'll work my way down around this way, because this has been here for a while and this is good stuff. And I'll just make a ramp down, and I'll bring the machine back out and leave it on the road. Just because I could leave it here, but I just don't. Why do that? It's the stupid thing I did, looking at it the other way, where I got stuck when I came down just to rinse the bucket that time. I've been down there 100 times and didn't know it had rained, and got stuck. So I'm not going to leave it up here. But I wish you could get a height perspective, but I'm probably a good 25 feet up right here. So I'm going to get to it. Another, hopefully 2.5, 3 hours of work, because tomorrow it's going to rain. So I'm going to get back in it. Here's a shot from the other side, so you can see how far down I sink. You know, I'm lifting up a lot of weight, you know, plus you got a 1,700 pound thumb on there. So that's what I'm talking about, what I got to keep doing. Now, if I didn't have to do that, it'd be much easier to do this, but it is what it is. So I just figured I'd show you. But you know, that's 2.5, 3 feet down, so I have to keep backing up if I want to get as much as I can out of there, which I do, because it's good stuff. So just another shot. Here you can get a good view of how I'm sinking down in the gumbo, and how I have to keep actually lifting up, pulling myself forward, so I can at least try to climb up over it, and then fill them in, and then keep an eye on the track there. You'll see it sink down as I pull the bucket up. So this was just a never-ending occurrence the whole way till I get to the end. is about the time I start taking the top of Goose Mountain down, and you can see this white sand here is really good. I can compact it and try to stop from sinking so much down on this gumbo. But from the shot here, you can see how far down the bucket still goes down in the gumbo. So, but now the rest of it you'll see me taking the top of Goose Mountain down and making a ramp to get out. I'm just about finished. I want to fill in all these ruts and slope it a little bit so it won't hold any water, so that it can dry out and I can get up here, in a week or so and finish moving the whole pile back. But if it holds water, then it's just going to stay a gumbo mess. So that's what I'm doing here because I'm just about finished. the end of the day, so you can see where I drove up. So I started over here, and I got actually more done than it looks like. It's about 6 o'clock. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so I did not want to stop, but I got a lot of material out of here. It would have made a good video breaking it open again, but I don't want to break it open right now because I don't want to have the lake be in here while I'm still going to dig it up over there, so I don't have to dig out of the water. And this side here, I'll just get when I come down this way. And that ridge right there will all be underwater anyway, and it'll end up just falling down in it, so that's no big deal. So you can't tell on camera, but that's probably about 10 feet deep, I would say. And we walk around this way. As you saw in the video, or if you skipped around and you didn't see it, go back and look. But this squishiness is what I had to deal with all day. So as you'll see in there, I had to keep filling in, backing up, pulling myself out, filling in the ruts, squish them down again, fill them in, move. So it took a little bit longer, but you can see Goose Mountain is now more like Nest Mountain. I guess it's still, I don't know what I took off, 10 feet off the top of it. And I'll take more of it if I need it. Beautiful sky tonight. But it's a good size. I mean, they can fit multiple families on here, even though they probably wouldn't. So you can see. So what I did was I cut all this down. I cut this down farther because the lower to water level, the more material I can get out, obviously. So there's another in between. Well, you can't really see it, but there's a valley in between there, and that's how much I dug this side down as I was going. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come back up here when it dries out again, because it's supposed to rain, like I said, and then I'm just going to move it from here and then go to the end and do the same thing. And then I can load the dump truck. I can load the dump truck up, because by that time this pile will be probably, by the time I'm done digging up everything, even from here, the pile will probably be almost out to the road. And you can see that's probably 20 feet tall. So that'll be a pretty good pile. Once all that gets over here, it'll be wider than that, I would imagine, as well. And like I said, if I need part of that, the nice with that is it's basically beach sand. Well, it's better than beach sand. It holds together, but you can pack it and it doesn't. I can put it over squishy spots and fill it in a little bit. So I'll get a shot from the other side, but I'm happy with this day's progress. Well, here's a shot from the other side. You can see top of Goose Mountain is gone. Big pile behind it. And you know, I started all the way over there, and that's got like I said, a 10-foot hole, which you saw in the previous clip. So that's pretty good, I think. And if it wouldn't rain, I could get a lot more, and I'll probably take some of it. I mean, Goose Mountain now doesn't have to be that round since it's not as tall, so I'll probably take a little bit more of that out of there as I need it, but I can work around it, and it makes a nice ramp. It's a nice loading platform there. So yep, so that's that. It's right now it is 6:32, so I am going to go in and eat some dinner. So again, thanks for watching.